Hello all, my name is Delilah Huber, and for my final game design research project, I'm going to be focusing on materials. For that project, I'm going to do a stylized Studio Ghibli environment. After doing extensive research on environment artists' jobs, I've discovered a general list of qualifications. For my final project, I decided to create a stylized environment inside of Unreal, focusing on creating the full environment by hand, using Unreal materials, Photoshop, Maya, and Substance Painter/Designer. Here are my references and inspirations, from Studio Ghibli movies to Zelda Breath of the Wild. And then here's my main piece of concept art. And then since this concept art doesn't have an environment, I'm going to work off of this concept art for my environment pieces. I spent a lot of time doing research on other people who have created similar environments, researching the process and creation of environments and stylized environments. That entails stylized trim sheets to Substance Painter textures to 3D modeled stylized assets. Stylization is a broad category, therefore I decided to focus on materials. Additionally, I researched other examples. From ArtStation to YouTube, one of the most important things I've discovered is that movement in the scene creates a more engaging environment, additionally adding to the stylization, as well as the importance of good materials and textures in stylized environments. I then did research on these skills and found Victoria Zahavernia's channel on YouTube, providing me with the start for my tutorial research. I followed her grass tutorial, her substance designer tree stump tutorial texture, and her leaf tutorial. This gave me the necessary tools to create my own versions. Here's my leaf material, a mask material using masks I made in Photoshop. It allows you to change the color, blended hue, tint, size, and scale, as well as the wind. Additionally, here is an example of the material instance, which can create endless possibilities for creation, changing the color, changing the shift, as well as my mask made in Photoshop for the leaves. And then here's the process of getting the tree formed. It starts from plans, and then here's the final product inside of Unreal. Next are my flowers, which use a more simpler technique, but still using masks, basically just taking a colored mask and a black mask and white mask and laying them over each other. And additionally, it also has a wind effect on it. So here's the process. By moving the UVs when I export the model that I created in Maya, I can change what color and where on the basically trim sheet the flower color will be placed. Next is the grass, which I used a real-time virtual texture to be linked to the landscape material. It also has colored wind and universal wind. So here's an example of that grass. As I'm changing the landscape color, the grass color is also changing with it. But because the wind on the grass has a color, you can still see the grass, even though it's the same color as the landscape. Then I went into Substance Designer, following the tutorial from the lady I mentioned above. I work on making stylized tree bark inside of Substance Designer, from color blends to the initial tapes to masks to then the outputs. Additionally, the tutorial version you can see on the left, which I followed almost exactly, and then I went around and changed and experimented and made two separate variations, one lighter and one darker for my scene. The key takeaways I made from following these tutorials was that materials and textures are what make or break stylized environments. Additionally, stylized materials are mostly masked. On top of that, stylized materials are often simple but complicated. Creating masked materials give environment artists endless possibilities of creation in Unreal. Learning new programs is difficult, which is why jobs want to hire people who already have experience. By following these tutorials and doing this research, I have gained a better sense of what jobs and companies are looking for when they hire people. Additionally, I've discovered the more difficult aspects of making materials and making stylized environments. Thank you so much.